Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. Trial event is now around 2/3 of the way, and the obvious question is, well, what is going to happen next? Blizzard has not communicated anything more for Warcraft Rumble so far, but there are some hints again. So remember last time there was some hints, there was some hidden text in blog posts that hinted at what's going to happen next, that's going to be Trial, that Trial is going to come next. And this time, there are hints in this article, Master the Elements with Trial in Season 15, published on June 11th on the warcraftrumble.com website, and this is what Aster had to say about it. I did, but there are still some things in there. They're a bit tougher this time. Yeah, there's no hidden text. I will say there are some things in there that are slightly off. Was hoping it might give pause and make you be like, wait a second, was that? One other thing I will say is that the hints aren't just for one thing. They say my last hints were for Trial and only Trial. So what could be hints in this? So I went through this lore story of Master the Elements, comparing it to Chronicles, and well, there's a lot of stuff that's off, but I don't know which one of those are hints. Anyway, let's take a look. First of all, there are these mentions of Gul'dan. Trial, Goel, son of Durotan and Draka, Warchief the Horde, Breaker of Chains, Shaman of the Earthen Ring, and victim of Gul'dan's cruelty. Under the dark command of Gul'dan, assassins were dispatched to slay his parents, Durotan and Draka, leaving the newborn orphaned and abandoned in the wilds. But according to the Chronicles, the guards who killed Trial's parents did not act on Gul'dan's orders. They were loyal to the Shadow Council, but they acted on their own initiative when they learned that Durotan was against Gul'dan, so they decided that Gul'dan probably would want Durotan dead. So, was it Gul'dan's cruelty? Gul'dan's orders? Why are all these mentions of Gul'dan here when Gul'dan didn't have anything immediate to do with this, really? And then, as Horde ventures to Kalimdor, upon arriving, Trial encountered the Tauren, proud and noble warriors led by Cairn Bloodhoof. A powerful alliance was forged, built on mutual respect and shared survival. The land they claimed would come to be named Durotar, in honor of Trial's fallen father. However, Trial first met the Darkspear Trolls on the islands, not the Tauren, they were not the first thing they met, and then the Tauren settled in Mulgore. Not in Durotar at all. In fact, the Orcs would settle in Durotar only after the Third War. So, Durotar was not really the thing at that point. Then he freed the Darkspear Trolls and welcomed them into the Horde. He brokered pacts with the Forsaken of Lordaeron and the Blood Elves of Quel'Thalas. Trial didn't really free the Darkspear Trolls. I mean, I guess the Orcs and the Trolls both got trapped in the game, but anyway, the Darkspear Trolls were not like something that Trial would free just without freeing the Horde too. And while Trial did accept the Forsaken in the Horde, it was actually Hamor Runetotem and Cairn who played the key role in bringing Forsaken to the Horde. And likewise, Trial was the Warchief when Blood Elves joined, so he ultimately was the one who accepted them, but it was Sylvanas who played the main role in them joining the Horde. So the timeline here is a little bit weird. Darkspear Trolls mentioned after mentioning the Tauren, where it was the other way around, and then the Blood Elves who joined way after the war, Forsaken joined. So things happened after the war, and then here they are like before the war. Because then the story continues after the war. After the fiery chaos of the Third War, it was Trial who worked to foster peace between the Horde and the Alliance, trying to end centuries of bloodshed. And this is like 21 years after opening the Dark Portal. So there was no centuries of bloodshed. That just didn't exist. It was 2 decades. Then we move on to Wrath of the Lich King. When the frozen terror of the Lich King began to seep in from Northrend, Trial was forced to act. Though reluctant, he sent an expedition led by Garrosh Hellscream to combat the Scourge. Meanwhile, he led the assault to reclaim the Undercity from the dread demon Varimatras, unaware that King Varian Wren had launched his own attack. So first of all, Trial wasn't really reluctant to send the expedition at any point. He was like excited, and Garrosh was excited to lead it. And then Varimatras was a Dreadlord. The Dreadlords are never described as Dread Demons. I mean, Dreadlords are demons. But that's just not a term that is ever used in Warcraft. So, lots of things off here too. The inaccuracies in the timeline, they just continue throughout the article. Trial's reign as Warchief was marked by both triumph and turmoil. When the Cataclysm shattered Azeroth, he chose to lay down his mantle. He named Garrosh Hellscream as the Horde's new Warchief, and turned his focus to the Earthen Ring, joining fellow shamans in their desperate battle against Deathwing the Destroyer. So Trial first left for Outland before Cataclysm to consult the spirits there, and then he made Garrosh the acting Warchief. Although actually, Garrosh only became the real permanent war chief later, so maybe somehow. But when Cataclysm Shattered Azeroth, that just doesn't match at all. And also, Thrall did go with the Earthen Ring to the Maelstrom to try to restore the balance to the elements, but they were not there to fight Deathwing. They didn't fight Deathwing there at all. So desperate battle against Deathwing the Destroyer, that also just didn't happen. But which ones of these are hints and which one are just inaccurate? So the Dread Demon thing seems like the most obvious hint, because Dread Lords are never called Dread Demons. So hint about demons, hint about either a single demon mini, or demon encounter, or a demon family, Legion family. Possible. I mean, it has been in the game files, the family logo, for a very long time already, before the Cenarian family came. But we'll see, maybe. Then there was these mentions of Gul'dan, which were really unwarranted, that Gul'dan wasn't really involved with these things. Was that a second hint? Could we be getting Gul'dan? So we're getting like the Legion family, and we're going to get Gul'dan as one of the minis. Maybe. Centuries, I have a hard time making the connection with centuries because it was just a little bit over 20 years. If it was millennia, then that would be more suitable for the Burning Legion because that was millennia in the making. I don't really know what would have been lasted for centuries here. And finally, that Deathwing bought the desperate battle against Deathwing with the Earthen Ring, that didn't happen. There just wasn't anything like that. So is that a hint about Deathwing? So Deathwing, Gul'dan, Legion family? Maybe. I mean, that would be some pretty sweet stuff if that is to happen, but it's a bit of a stretch, I admit. But that's all we have right now about the future of Rumble. We know there are hints in that specific article, and then it's just trying to figure out which ones of these are actually the hints. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.